Buckle up for this inside tour decoding the electric vehicle revolution sweeping China that's disrupting the competitive landscape among Chinese and foreign automakers. Here, we'll analyze how domestic brands like BYD and NIO have ascended, while sales for incumbents like Volkswagen and Toyota dramatically declined in the world's largest car market. Volkswagen's historical dominance in China. In 1978, a Chinese government minister's delegation made a surprise unannounced visit to Volkswagen headquarters in Germany. Their goal was to request assistance to build trucks and commercial vehicles for China's nascent auto industry that was struggling to meet the country's pressing transport needs. This little-known meeting marked the pivotal start of a hugely successful long-term partnership between Volkswagen and China spanning over 4 decades. It also kick-started Volkswagen's rise to capture dominant 50% market share in China's passenger vehicle space in the coming years. The popularity of Volkswagen's reliable and affordable Santana sedan model, launched in the early 1980s, made it an ubiquitous start as China's quintessential taxi and private family car, cementing enduring brand loyalty across generations. Volkswagen's meteoric early rise in China stemmed from the tremendous first-mover advantages it secured by trailblazing key milestones, becoming the first foreign automaker to ink joint ventures with China in 1984. This catapulted Volkswagen years ahead of later entrants like GM, Toyota, and Honda. Recent decline in market share of foreign automakers. However, Volkswagen and its foreign peers like GM, Toyota, and Honda have seen sales sink in China over the past few years, even as the Chinese auto market continues expanding swiftly. In 2021, Volkswagen's market share dipped below 12% for the first time in history. The key reasons for this historic shift can be summarized as: first, Chinese government policy implicitly favoring electric vehicle technology; second, innate superiority of Chinese technology firms in developing intelligent EV software, connectivity, and digitization; third, asymmetric subsidies and incentives unfairly augmenting local Chinese companies over foreign firms; fourth, enormous economies of scale emerging from China's vast market size, providing growth runways unavailable elsewhere; fifth, skillful appeals by Chinese brands to nationalistic sentiment amongst local buyers. How China made a strategic bet on electric vehicles. China's dramatic ascendance as a global EV leader is rooted in a prescient strategic bet it made on electric vehicle technology as early as 2001. This is when China first began sponsoring R&D initiatives across electric vehicles. However, the more definitive acceleration towards electric mobility policy took shape around 2009 under the visionary leadership of Wang Gang, China's forward-thinking Minister of Science and Technology. Wang Gang, a former Audi engineer himself, correctly theorized that as electric vehicles rely on simpler drivetrains and battery packs compared to complex internal combustion engine counterparts, this could allow Chinese automakers to strategically leapfrog established global auto giants who led mainly in gas-powered vehicle technology. To actualize this possibility into reality, China methodically nurtured its electric vehicle industry by funneling supportive policy measures, even as electric passenger cars remained niche curiosities outside China until very recently. Measures included generous consumer subsidies, exemptions from licensed lotteries applicable for gas cars, preferential credit access for EV startups, and guaranteed procurement agreements with municipal fleets. In contrast, despite China's clear EV signaling, establishment foreign automakers drastically underestimated China's intent for far too long. Lulled into complacency after decades of dominance in China's gas-powered vehicles landscape, companies like Volkswagen, GM, Toyota, and others perplexingly ignored the electric mobility transition unfolding before their eyes. They downplayed the importance of EVs in their global product planning and chronically underinvested in next-generation battery and electric drivetrain R&D tailored for China markets. This monumental policy misjudgment proved extremely costly in forfeited first-mover advantages as they faced a brutal awakening. How Chinese companies exploited their edge in EV technology with software and connectivity. Unlike gas-powered vehicles, where internal combustion engine is the complex core component, Electric vehicles rely critically on software, electric architecture, and seamless connectivity, areas where China's homegrown technology firms intrinsically excel. For example, Volkswagen's debut flagship EV offering, the ID.3 hatchback, was crippled with glitchy software, slow response times, and required tedious trips to dealerships for major updates. Early reviewer feedback from China dubbed it half-finished. In contrast, contemporary Chinese EV models embedded markedly superior intuitive connectivity and functionality in their software operating systems from day one. Chinese automakers were already conversant with best practices in consumer-grade UI/UX design from their technology business groups catering to China's vast smartphone and mobile internet markets. These complementary competencies enable Chinese EV makers to pioneer novel smart cockpit designs and differentiated autonomous features packaged with appealing Chinese voice assistants amplified by premium in-car entertainment systems, offering a connected mobility experience unrivaled by foreign competitor brands. Tesla's arrival in China proved a wake-up call, setting the bar for Chinese firms to build EVs matching global benchmarks in safety, styling, and premium performance. Tesla's instant brand cachet and exhilarating acceleration pressured local firms to further sharpen software competencies and aggressively keep innovating to close any remaining hardware gaps. Uneven playing field, policy incentives unfairly favored Chinese companies. In the race to dominate next-generation mobility solutions, Chinese EV makers have enjoyed disproportionate state support from Beijing through subsidies, tax benefits, and preferential access to capital that are out of reach for foreign brands operating in China. Flush with state funding, companies like NIO, Li Auto, and XPeng have ample investment runways to cement market dominance in China while expanding globally. Even as legacy auto companies like Volkswagen and Toyota play catch-up with multi-billion-dollar investments to electrify and localize portfolios for China, this massive asymmetric backing for domestic champions has deeply skewed the level playing field in favor of locally branded companies. For example, the subsidies offered at the consumer level can be as much as $10,000 per car for a made-in-China EV compared to negligible support for locally built foreign models. Things like exemption for purchase lotteries and qualification for priority license plate access also nudge consumer buying towards Chinese EVs. At the corporate level, state-backed funding and ownership allows Chinese companies to make huge gambles in moonshot projects like hydrogen and bleeding-edge automotive technologies with longer horizons than their foreign rivals. Captive state support shields them from shareholder pressure for quarterly results and smooths earnings volatility, providing a huge cushion and competitive flexibility unavailable to multinationals listed globally. Scale effects and national pride amplifying the success of Chinese EV brands. China's vast domestic market size and breakneck electric vehicle adoption rates have given Chinese automakers unrivaled scale efficiencies, a key structural advantage foreign companies are unable to replicate. As domestic champions garner success, Chinese automakers have skillfully tapped into nationalistic tailwinds as world-class homegrown brands like the quirky Aura Funky Cat elicit immense pride among Chinese consumers and elicits preferences over foreign alternatives. Savvy social media campaigns amplify their technological innovation and cutting-edge designs as a source of national accomplishment that Volkswagen's German mark or Toyota's Japanese lineage cannot inspire within China's youthful and status-conscious car-buying demographic. This patriotic emotion is rapidly mainstreaming and has emerged as an unexpected and formidable asset for Chinese companies to wield in converting swaying buyers from smitten first-time EV adopters. Outlook for foreign automakers and closure. Despite misplaced early bets, leading foreign OEMs like Volkswagen, GM, and Toyota still have an arduous path towards redemption in China's rapidly emerging global leadership position in electric mobility solutions. Legacy companies are now course-correcting through previously unfathomable partnerships, the largest being Volkswagen injecting $300 million into rising Chinese smart EV disruptor XPeng to jointly develop electric cars targeting international markets based on XPeng's advanced autonomous driving and cloud architecture. Toyota recently launched its first bespoke battery electric offering, the BZ4X SUV, reflecting a much delayed but concerted reorientation towards next-generation zero-emission products demanded by regulators worldwide. Optimists counter that incumbents still command vast financial resources, elite talent, and lean startup DNA through their emerging tech subsidiaries to rediscover their innovative verse in next-gen spaces. While the gloves are clearly off, they caution G-Gen writing premature obituaries for established companies just yet. As the world's electric vehicle race enters a crucial window of global inflection over the next 5 to 7 years, we'll know soon enough whether foreign automotive giants can salvage their fortunes in time or cede more ground as the era of China's auto industry 2.0 kicks into overdrive. Buckle up for the ride! Riding policy tailwinds, China is determined to control its vehicular destiny by leading electric mobility tech globally. Incumbents face a harsh battle fighting back despite new EVs. The days of China following the West's auto prowess seem conclusively over as the baton passes to China's ascendant automobile industry 2.0. We hope you enjoyed this inside tour, and if you did, smash that like button and subscribe by clicking the bell icon to receive alerts on our upcoming episodes unpeeling more global industry tech battles. Until next time, bye for now.